Production support for the weekly special is provided by IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. The Al Cobain Recognition Endowment Fund, established by friends and family of Al Cobain to support jazz initiatives on WTIU and WFIU. And WTIU members, thank you. As Hoosiers plan for the holiday, many are preparing to commemorate those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Meet the men and women honoring Indiana's brave veterans and learn more about their service to our state and our country. It's a time to reflect and remember our Hoosier heroes tonight on the Weekly Special. Welcome to the Weekly Special. I'm Erica Sagone. This weekend across the state, thousands will gather for parades and ceremonies to remember our brave military men and women. And the Indiana Patriot Guard stands ready to honor such sacrifice, not just this weekend, but every weekend.
As a volunteer firefighter, John Petro was asked to ready the station's fire engines and line them up along the road, in tribute to a young soldier whose remains were being returned to his family. As the procession entered his town, he was taken by an unexpected sight.
The closer the funeral procession got, the louder this noise that we could hear, a large rumble, deep bellowing rumble. And all of a sudden, all you could see is leather-wearing, bandana-wearing motorcycle riders. At first, I thought it was some kind of a gang or something coming to town. But shortly after, there was the hearse carrying the soldiers' remains. The outpouring of patriotism was unbelievable. The people in the towns were all outside standing on the sidewalks and in the streets. You would have thought it was a 4th of July parade for all the American flags, and that's what captured my heart. I wanted to do this, and I wanted to show a little bit of something to my country.
Started in 2005, the Patriot Guard formed to shelter families of fallen soldiers from protesters. Today, their mission extends to welcome home celebrations, deployment ceremonies, and volunteer work, with over 250,000 members nationwide.
You won't get a tighter group of people. I mean, every time you see one, everybody's hugging, shaking each other's hands, and rain or shine, they're there. We stood out in the cold, we stood in the rain, and it's great to have somebody standing there with you, and there always is somebody there right beside you.
We're there to stand for those who stood for us. Some of them gave the ultimate sacrifice. Some of them are willing to lay it all on the line and fortunate enough to come back home. And everybody's got their stories of what they had to experience overseas.
And while not required, many of the Guard members are veterans themselves who, after witnessing the treatment of returning Vietnam vets decades ago, have vowed to make sure this generation and their families experience something much different.
I didn't get treated like that. I wanted people to respect the soldiers that were coming home. When they landed, they were just turned loose. Nobody welcomed them home. That's what the respect is all about. Honoring the vets, it's honoring us.
And while welcoming returning soldiers is an important part of their mission, the Patriot Guard remains focused on the families of those soldiers who do not come home.
We're there for the family, even after the limelight goes away. After the services are done and after the newspapers are done, the Patriot Guard Riders are going to make sure that we keep connected to those families to let them know that there are people that are out here in the community that's never going to forget their hero.
And for Anita Walker, there's been no bigger hero than her son, Robbie. At 19 years old, he joined the Marines, serving 8 years as a sergeant in the infantry mortar mission. After returning to civilian life, he re-enlisted, this time in the Army.
My son loved everybody, and he was a very happy jokester kid, and even when he was growing, he never had a mean attitude. He always smiled, and he believed in what he was doing.
On July 8, 2004, Sergeant Colville was killed when a mortar round hit his Baghdad headquarters. After John learned of Anita's loss, he received permission to honor her with a Patriot Guard plaque on behalf of her son's service.
It was emotional, but I was honored about my son giving the ultimate sacrifice, and he'll never be forgotten.
That gesture that we will never forget or have never forgotten has touched her, because now she and I have become very close friends. She knows that if she ever needs anything, all she has to do is call me.
And it's like, you know, he's an added son, is how I feel. He calls and checks on me. He comes out here with these big truck and plows my drive in the winter. You know, he's a wonderful person.
And that call came. This year marks the 10th anniversary of Sergeant Colville's death. And his oldest son, only 4 years old when his father passed, is all grown and returning to his father's hometown. And Anita couldn't ask for a better homecoming crew than the Patriot Guard.
When Sergeant Colville was killed in action, he didn't get anything to remember his father by. And she wanted to know if there was anything that I could do for her to welcome him home, to let him know that people will never forget his father and the sacrifice that he had made. And I said, absolutely.
John put out the call, and the Patriot Guard riders answered. Dozens showed up to surprise Travis with his own Patriot Guard escort to the family's farm.
I started crying. I thought, okay, John Petro said there was only going to be just a few. And my grandson said, look at them motorcycles, Nana. And then my friend that was driving the car, and he just kept driving, and Travis says, no, you can't go up there. He said, them look like Patriot Guard riders. And he didn't realize that it was for him. And I just started crying. I thought, oh, heavens. Because my heart just goes 100 miles an hour. Because I just, honoring my son. I just want him remembered. He was a good kid.
On behalf of a grateful America and the Indiana Patriot Guard, Travis, please accept our sincere condolences on your tragic loss of your father. May your pain be tempered by the knowledge that Sergeant Robert Colville, Jr., United States Army, is a true American hero and will always be in our hearts. We will never forget. Your father was a hero, son. Never forget that, because we will never.
The Indiana Patriot Guard will host numerous ceremonies across the state. To find one in your area, visit inpatriotguard.org. Well, after a lifelong passion for military history, Terre Haute businessman Brian Mundell created a museum to celebrate the everyday soldier. As a young boy, Brian Mundell listened to his grandfather recite stories about his time serving in World War II. The tales inspired Brian's lifelong fascination for military history, building models, reading books, and collecting war memorabilia. Today, the impressive collection, featuring over 1,000 items across multiple military conflicts, sits on display for Terre Haute visitors.
I went to Normandy for the 60th anniversary of the D-Day landings in 2004, and when I got back, I thought, I'm going to start collecting this stuff. And I started looking for, helmets and uniforms and all that, and that's kind of how the collecting started. And then that kind of parlayed into collecting World War I and Vietnam and, anything I could get. At some point I went kind of full bore with it. I don't know, I guess I just thought it was really neat to have some of the things that had, maybe been there and done that, and, it just slowly became a passionate hobby of mine, was trying to track down these things. It's always fun to get something when it's hard to get. And every year there'd be more and more stuff in my basement, and some of my friends would be telling me, hey, why don't you start a museum? And at first I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start a museum.
With the ever-growing collection and an ever-shrinking storage space, Brian realized it was time to give the items a more permanent home. As the owner of a cabinet company in downtown Terre Haute, Brian already possessed a building in a high-traffic area of town. Shifting his business to one side, Brian converted the remaining space, altering the storefront, building custom display cabinets, and spending numerous hours cataloging items and creating display cards, creating Terre Haute's first memorial museum honoring military service.
My goal to begin with was to get to a point where people could come in here and maybe get a little bit of experience of maybe what some veterans went through, or how they dressed, or how heavy their coats were. I mean, just different aspects that the average layman wouldn't normally think about. I don't have anything substantial from anyone famous, but I have a lot of stuff from the common soldier, and the common soldiers are the ones that do the dirty work, and they're the ones that win the wars and have to fight the battles.
The majority of items on display have been acquired locally, and Brian takes extra care to gather as much information on the history of each item, as well as the personal experiences of the item's owner.
You know, when you go through the museum, there's a little bit of everything in here, whether it's a pack of cigarettes from World War II, or the sea rations that the guys had to eat, or the trench coats, the guns. I mean, I wanted to try to encompass everything just to give you a little more appreciation of what the guys had to go through. I just felt like it was my mission to honor our veterans, and this was the only way I could do it. I've noticed that there's been a handful of Iraqi, Afghanistan veterans that have come in here, and one even admitted that he came in here because it was healing to him, which I can't comprehend because I have not been in his shoes. But however it helps anyone, it's great with me. In fact, one of the boys around here who was killed, his dad had come in, and he came in 2 weekends in a row one time. This has been a couple of years ago, but he said it was a healing process for him. I never envisioned that part when I started the museum, but if that's what it does, then, you know, great. Some guys from the 503rd Parachute Regiment fought in the Philippines. They met here in Terre Haute, and I think there was 11 of them that came. Anytime you can get 11 World War II veterans together, that's pretty rare. But the neat thing too was that in conjunction with them coming to the museum, there was also a Cub Scout pack that came. So we had 6, 7, 8-year-olds that were here with a bunch of 90-year-olds. And one of the things that was really neat was the Cub Scouts went through and shook all the hands of the veterans, you know, and they said thank you. And, you know, it doesn't get any better than that for me. There's so many men and women who have served in this area, and people just take that for granted. I guess anytime you can touch and feel and see something up close, it's easier to get an appreciation for it when you can get up close and personal to it.
The museum is open Saturdays from noon to 4 or by special appointment. Learn more by visiting terrehaute.com. While the Veterans Memorial Museum allows you to see the objects of everyday soldiers, Evansville LST-325 allows you to step back in time and into their world.
The USS LST-325 was originally commissioned 70 years ago for service in World War II. She and her crew made more than 40 trips from England to France, delivering prisoners, supplies, and wounded. She was present on D-Day when more than 160,000 Allied troops stormed the beaches at Normandy. In 1964, LST-325 was sold to the Greek Navy, and in 1999, after nearly 60 years of service around the world, she was nearing the end of her life.
It was ready for the scrapyard. That's what the Greek Navy was going to do. They were going to scrap this.
And in all fairness, it's understandable why.
Nothing worked on this ship. I don't know how many individuals came to Greece to work on this, but it was quite a few.
They came to work and they came to bring LST-325, purchased from the Greek Navy for $1, home to the United States.
They'd come and they'd go, and then in the end, there were 28 men that made the journey to the United States. So normally the ship had a crew of, back in World War II, of between 110 and 115 crew members plus 7 officers. So you can see what 28 men did by themselves, and they were all senior citizens. It was quite a feat.
She made a prolonged stop for repairs in Mobile, Alabama. Then in 2005, LST-325 was sailed to Evansville, her new home port. And although it was most certainly a day for celebration, it was also the beginning of a lot of work for a lot of dedicated volunteers.
To restore it to its former glory is still a work in progress, and it always will be. Well, everything you see has been restored in some way or another, be it a piece of plating cut out that's been rusted away, it being painted. The list goes on. Everywhere you look on the ship, something has been done to restore it or to make it look as it did back in the days it was built. Everything that you see down in this room is fully operational. This is the machinery we use, the engines we use when we sail the ship. That's where the majority of our funding goes, is just to keep this ship seaworthy and be able to sail under its own power. It's a never-ending program, and there are thousands and thousands of hours have gone into this.
But the work doesn't end in the engine room. One of the LST's most unique features is also one of its most difficult to maintain.
Where we're standing right now, this is called the bow ramp. This is where vehicles would enter and exit during an amphibious landing. When the ramp is closed, that makes the watertight seal. You can see the gasket there. They bring the ramp up, they dog it down, then they close the doors.
And just behind the bow ramp is the tank deck.
This is the main reason for this ship being built right here. This deck is 30 feet wide by 288 feet long. It will accommodate 20 Sherman tanks in 2 rows of 10. They also had vehicles up on the main deck, and the way they got those up there is above us is the ship's elevator. Vehicles that come in, they drive it up on the elevator until eventually the main deck was full. Then they'd start loading this deck.
Today, LST-325's decks are filled with tourists, not tanks, middle school students instead of military cargo. But she still has a mission.
Our mission is to educate the public. By taking the ship to different ports, that's where we get the funding to keep this ship operational. We might be gone for a month, stop at 4 different cities, and put 40,000 people through this ship in a month's time. There were 1,051 of these built back during World War II. This is the last surviving fully operational LST in the United States and possibly the world. This ship is military correct. And like I say, it's fully operational. We sail the ship every year. The history of that is, when you dwell on it, you can get teary-eyed. You think about the people that landed on Normandy from this ship and gave their lives for the freedoms that we have today. Right now, we're standing on the deck of history. This is history.
The LST-325 Memorial is open for tours 6 days a week. To plan your visit or to learn how to volunteer yourself, visit lstmemorial.org. The LST-325 stands in tribute to the American war effort, but there's another Evansville story that galvanized the American spirit, not just in Indiana, but across the country.
In November 1917, amid the bloodiest fighting of World War I, the field commander of France's 18th Division, P.E. Bordeaux, gathered members of his regiment to pay respects to 3 fallen soldiers. They were the first Americans to die in combat during the Great War. Among them was Corporal James Bethel Gresham from Evansville, Indiana. These American graves, noted Bordeaux, represent the ultimate sacrifice for the liberty of all nations, the most noble of causes. James Bethel Gresham was a child when his family moved from a one-room log cabin in Kentucky to Evansville near the turn of the century. When he was a youngster, his father died, leaving the family nearly penniless. Bethel, as he was known, left school after the 4th grade and went to work at various jobs to support his mother and 3 younger siblings.
He only drives horses at one point, which he evidently enjoys, handling a horse team. He'll work in a local furniture factory for a period of time, trying to earn money. By 1914, he is going to join the U.S. Army. And then throughout his Army career, he's going to see that a way as helping support his struggling family.
By the spring of 1917, when President Wilson announced America's entry into the Great War, the battle had been raging in Europe for 3 years. That summer, Gresham and thousands of other raw American troops were training to fight a seasoned German army in the Lorraine region of France. During this training, Gresham met fellow Midwestern recruits Tom Enright of Pittsburgh and Merle Hay from Glidden, Iowa.
During World War I, the fighting that's going to be occurring is going to be very brutal. It's going to, particularly on the Western Front, break down into trench warfare. Basically, life month after month, living in these earthen trenches, open trenches of water, of lice, of rats, of just freezing conditions in the winter and sun-baked conditions in the summer.
In the winter of 1917, with little training in trench warfare, the American troops were sent into a rain-soaked region known as No Man's Land to serve alongside their French allies. On November 3rd, Gresham, Enright, and Hay were stationed in a trench near the German front. At 3:30 in the morning, a group of soldiers emerged from the shadows. Assuming they were French, Gresham hollered, "Don't shoot, we're Americans." That was all the German troops needed to hear. Gresham was shot and killed. The following day, French soldiers returned to the battle site and discovered Gresham's body, along with those of Enright and Hay, who had been riddled with bullet holes and bayonet wounds. These were reported to be the first American soldiers to lose their lives in combat during World War I.
The French are very mindful of this, and the French are thankful the Americans are there. And General Bordeaux of France, the next day when they are buried, he certainly commends their service and recognizes their service, and they're buried there in the Lorraine region of France.
News swiftly reached Evansville and the rest of the United States, shocking the nation. The distant war had come home to Indiana. For months, images of the 3 fallen soldiers were used to symbolize American sacrifice during the struggle for freedom. Their images appeared on war bond posters and their names in folk songs. Several years after the war, the bodies of the 3 soldiers were exhumed and returned to their hometowns. In the summer of 1921, with somber and dignified ceremony, Gresham's body was buried at Locust Hills Cemetery in Evansville. To further honor Gresham, the town raised enough money to build a new home for his mother. That home still stands today. Appropriately enough, it serves as transitional housing to help Hoosier veterans reintegrate into society after their service to the country is over.
I think Gresham represents the willingness to sacrifice yourself for the greater cause. He represented the sacrifice that Americans were willing to make. And I think that idea of freedom and the willingness to defend that certainly was what he represented.
To learn more about this Hoosier hero, be sure to visit the Evansville Museum of Arts, History, and Science. Get more information at evansvillemuseum.org. Well, that's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our military men and women. Good night.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Production support for the weekly special is provided by IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. The Al Cobain Recognition Endowment Fund, established by friends and family of Al Cobain to support jazz initiatives on WTIU and WFIU. And WTIU members, thank you.